Good morning, friends. All right, we're trying something new today. I will be right with you. Hopefully you are seeing a little picture-in-picture. If you are watching on the site, there is a bit of a lag. I don't know about Facebook, but we're going to give it a try. All right, let us see what is going on. Nope, hang on. Oh, now it's not letting me. Come on. Well, drop me a note. Let me know you can hear me at least. It is, for some reason, not transitioning away from There we go. I think we finally got it. Whew. All right, my friend. All right. Today we are going to talk about the one secret to lasting happiness. But before I get started, welcome to Men Up with Mike. My name is Mike Cameron, and I will be your host. This is the show where we talk all things leadership, personal development, all through the lens of what it means to be a dude, what it means to be a man, and talk about some of the social pressures that face us as dudes. I know dudes have everything, but the reality is with privilege comes price. There is a cost to the patriarchy. There are some challenges around that. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the one key to lasting happiness that I've found. And I'm doing it while trying new stuff, new software. So bear with me a little bit as we go through this. If you're watching on Facebook, I hope you will come over and join me. I'm just going to have a peek here. I hope you will come over and join me at mikecameron.ca/live. Whoops. Mitch, good morning. How are you, my friend? You're watching on Facebook. So I do not get the Facebook comments up quite the same way on this piece of software that I did on the previous one. So I'll have to figure that out a little bit and see if I can get that sorted out. So Mitch, I am kind of watching over here. Good morning, Garth. How are you, my friend? Again, I really want to get off the social media platforms and get back to directly onto my website so that we are really just having the conversations that we want to be having without some of the distractions. And I know that can be a bit of a challenge when we're talking about all these other social platforms. So today it is the beginning of October. I missed the very beginning of October because Aaron and I headed out to Pinto Lake, where hopefully you guys watched yesterday. We went out to Pinto Lake for a little backcountry camping. Hey, Mitch. Nice. I'm glad to see you on the website. It is good to have you there. See, these comments I get, and I can interact with you guys better on the website. So again, if you're watching mikecameron.ca, there is about a 10 to 15 second lag. So if I don't respond to your comment right away, that is why, and I will absolutely get to it. So thanks for popping in, my friends. Thanks for popping in. It is definitely an interesting experiment to play around with all this technology and play around with the different methods of streaming. But the beauty is, once I get this dialed in, once I get this done, then that mikecameron.ca/live will always be there. It will always be available, and previous episodes will be up there, so you can always find the previous episodes. And we're going to try and do a few new things. I'm hoping Michelle and I can come on a little more regularly and do some of the challenges. So with that, let's talk about challenges. So if you've been with me for a while, you know, Michelle and I used to do these 30-day challenges for each other. And we kind of got off track on that a little bit, but we did for most of 2019, we did a challenge every month, something to foster some personal development, some growth within us, and something that we believed the other needed to work on. So it was actually really fun. We'd do both of the challenges together. So before I dive into today's topic, the one secret for lasting happiness, I'm going to talk about our October challenges. So first, for me, to Michelle, my challenge is for her to practice yoga daily. It's something she really wrestles with, is slowing down that mind, slowing down the body. And it's the one thing that I think she would agree with. We found that really works well when it comes to sleep challenges and just being able to slow down. But it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. So my challenge for Michelle this month, and you guys are welcome to play along at home. I would love to hear if you guys are playing along as well. Good morning, Ali. How are you? I would love to hear if you guys are playing along. Join me over at mikecameron.ca/live. You can comment there. I can comment back. So yeah, Michelle agreed begrudgingly that she would take on this yoga challenge. So I asked her this morning what my challenge was, because we haven't really talked about it yet. So her challenge for me is to organize and purge my house room by room so that by the end of October, it's totally done. And she says that's no small challenge, which is absolutely true. So Michelle's challenge, my challenge to Michelle is daily yoga practice. Her challenge to me is to go through each room of my house and purge and clean. And you're not feeling the love on the site? I want to know why. What is missing? What is lacking? And that's fine. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We've always got our backups. We can always go back to our social platforms if we need to, if we have to. Again, I just really like trying new things, and I really like taking back control and hosting my own content. So let's talk about the one key to long-lasting happiness. And that, my friend, comes down to performing for an audience of one. It's something that I think about a lot. It's something that I wrestle with. And again, this social media stuff, especially in the business that I'm in, I speak to a lot of people as a professional speaker, as a coach. The We're Offline icon won't get out of the way. Okay, are you on mobile, Ann? I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I will have to get some tweaks and things sorted. Anyways, so speak to an audience of one. That is the secret to long-lasting happiness. For me, as a guy that makes his living talking to audiences, connecting with audiences, building content that I try and reach the masses. One of the things that I had to switch to in my head was creating content for an audience of one. And that one was me. I started creating content that I needed. This is why I started with what I called notes to self. And I started putting out content that I needed to hear. I started putting out messages that I needed to learn or lessons that I was in the process of learning. And I started speaking to you, period. So I started with me. I started speaking to myself. And then as I grew, I would start to speak to you, one person, one individual. I didn't cater my message to try and reach the masses. I didn't tweak what I said. I didn't tweak how I said it to try and get more likes, more follows, more views. Again, in this social media world, it can become incredibly easy to get sucked into this trap of, I've got to garner likes, I've got to garner views. I have to come up with content that will resonate with the masses. And the reality is, when we stop comparing to everybody else, and we stop trying to please or perform for an audience of thousands, even in life, when we start to perform for that audience of one, us, that's the key to long-lasting happiness. So my question for you today is, when you find yourself, or do you find yourself, performing, putting on a mask, putting on a front, because you think it's what the world wants to see. You think it's what will gain you influence. You think it's what will gain friends. Or do you perform, put on that mask, or drop that mask, so to speak, and just show up for yourself? And it's easy to say that I perform for me, that I just show up for me. It's easy to say, but it's a lot harder to do. It's a lot harder to do. Michael, Jose, Don, I'm both. Sorry, guys, I was missing you over on Facebook here. So, again, you can still fall into the peril of having a mask only for yourself, too. That's exactly right. And that's part of what I was getting at. Like, I think it's easy to say, to say that I'm only doing it for me. You know, fuck what everybody else thinks. But are you really dropping that mask? Are you really showing up truly for yourself? Like I said, for me as a performer, this is what I do for a living. I mean, I show up and I educate and I entertain, or at least I hope I do. I hope that's why you guys are here. I show up and I try and educate and I try and entertain. So really, the challenge is just being true to who I am, remaining authentic to who I am, and not trying to speak the language that I think everybody will resonate with. And the reality is, a lot of people aren't going to like me, and that's okay. But I'm speaking to you, and just you. This message is for you and for you alone. So when I show up and I speak to an audience of one, I'm much more impactful. When I stop trying to reach the masses and I just show up to speak to the one person in front of me, And I had this conversation with a client just the other day, and we were talking about he's trying to grow a business. He's trying to grow an audience, so to speak. And he's worried about numbers on Instagram. He's worried about numbers on a variety of different social platforms. But he's got one or two individuals right in front of him that would benefit from what he has to offer, that would benefit from his program. So my challenge to him was to switch this around and just speak to that one person. Forget about building a large audience. Build an audience of one to start with. So if you're in business, hopefully you know this, hopefully you recognize this. If you're in business, forget about pleasing the masses. Please that one customer that's right in front of you, right here, right now. And it's an easy thing to say, but it's a hard thing to do. And it's even harder to have that true check look in the mirror Michelle talks about. You can still fall into that peril of having a mask for yourself as well. So really being able to stand in front of that mirror, drop the mask of who we think the world wants us to be, and show up as who we truly are. And it takes practice. So that's another practice you can incorporate every single day, is ask yourself, who am I performing for today? Is it for myself? Or is it for who the world thinks, or what I think the world expects of me? Is that the performance I'm putting on? Where can I perform? Where can I narrow that down and show up or perform for that one individual, whether it's yourself or that one individual in front of you? Maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's your kid. Last night, I had a chance to go out for dinner with my son and just really be present and focused. Mitch says, what if you can't take the mask off and the mask is part of you? Well, if it's truly a mask, it's not really part of you. It's not really part of you. And it's hard. It's very hard. Because many of us, we start with these masks, we put up these walls, these facades, because we have to. You know, when we're young, if we're in an environment or a situation where we've been mistreated, where we needed that from a defense mechanism standpoint. When we're kids, we didn't have the same resources that we had as adults. So we had to resort to putting up walls, putting up masks. And while that may have served us as kids, it doesn't serve us as adults. Now that we've got more resources, we've got more tools, we've got more cognitive abilities, we've got more processing abilities, we've got some more emotional maturity, some of those masks that we used to wear as protection stay with us. They stay with us longer term, and they no longer serve us. So really, you know, Mitch, I would suggest taking the time to sit down, have a look in that mirror. What if you made a list? What if you took out a journal, wrote out a list of all of the potential or possible masks that you think you might be wearing? Or one of the exercises I've done before, it was geared to more towards kids, but take an actual piece of paper, cut out a mask shape, and on one side, put what you show to the world, and on the inside, write out what you're hiding, what you're keeping behind that mask. So just take a sheet of paper, Cut it into a rudimentary mask if you want, or just take a sheet of paper. On the side that faces out to the world, write out all the things that you show to the world. On the flip side, the side facing back to you, write out the things that you're hiding. Michelle says, maybe you need to ask someone you trust what masks they think you wear. That's a great exercise. That's a great exercise. Sit down with someone you trust. Sit down with a partner. Michelle, I think we should maybe do that. We should do that together. One of the other things that I just started today is that 30-day Gottman challenge. It's a relationship challenge. Michelle and I thought it was going to be more of a coupley thing, but it's individual work that you do and come back together. So I'll share a little bit of the results of that. You get an email every morning. It costs $30 US to do it. And they send you an email every morning with about 5 minutes of homework, so to speak. And you can share or not share with your partner. So we're starting to do that as well. So that'll be interesting to see sort of what that does, how that strengthens our relationship. So these are some of the things. Anyways, I'm getting way off topic, way off track. But as always, you guys prompt some fantastic questions. Just trying to see if I missed anything else here. Michael, Jose, Don. Look at this. Oh, you know what? So I actually broadcast to my regular Facebook feed as well as my Facebook page as well. So anyhow, new software, new adventures, all kinds of fun. So I hope you guys will join us in the challenges that we've set. So there's 2 as a recap for October. I'm challenging Michelle to do yoga every single day, a minimum of 10 minutes. If you guys are interested in doing that one, if you search YouTube Yoga with Adrian, Adrian has hundreds of different free online yoga classes that you can do. And again, it doesn't take a lot of time. And reloaded the frame, and that's helped, except for the video. All right, Anne, we'll get it sorted out. For you. I will turn off that that chat window because I recognize that's a bit of a pain in the backside. That does get in the way a little bit. I'm going to go have a peek at what that actually looks like. Yeah, I can see it here. Yeah, see, I'm on a bigger monitor. Probably you might have a smaller monitor, so it crunches up and covers things. So I can play with. I'll get our team to play with sort of the responsiveness of that and see how we end up. But whew, what an experiment! All right, so experiment yoga. 10 minutes of yoga every single day, and 2 for those of you. And maybe more the guys than the gals. I don't know. I'm casting a bit of a broad stereotype. But my challenge from Michelle is to go through my house and clean it room by room and purge all the crap. And so by the end of October, I will have a clean house. I mean, the problem, though, is when I move from one room to the next, by the time I get back to the end of October and circle back to that first room, it may be cluttered again. I don't know. I'm just saying. But my hope is purge and clean. Yeah, but how's it? Again, room 1, if I start today, by the end of October, room 1 isn't going to be clean anymore, Michelle. Anyhow, my friends, as always, continue to make beautiful shit happen. Thank you for tuning in. I am off to get a root canal today. All right, friends. I'm going to try and figure out how to... Oh, watch this. I think Let's try this. A little music, a little